So now that we both need tinnitus treatments.
Yeah. Say, be happy you were spared that.
Feel like Archer. Meh, meh, meh.
I'll take your word on that. No, so
Whenever
don't watch Archer.
Oh, well, whenever there's like an explosion, like whenever there's a loud noise and you get that ringing afterwards. So a lot of times on the show when there's an explosion, the audio for the episode will just be like, and it'll turn
funny.
to see like Archer or Alana is just like meh, 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 waiting for their hearing to come back. And they keep referencing tinnitus and things like that all through like the first 7 seasons or something like that, first couple seasons. I'm like, wow, your tinnitus must be horrible. Tell me about it. I already sleep with a box fan. We do that.
Yeah, but that's because we live in a noisy neyborhood.
Yeah, that's true.
Or we did, and then we just got used to it.
Just got used to it, yeah. That, and I have developed tinnitus, so it is what it is. But hi folks.
Hi.
It's November. It's cold.
It is.
We're wearing coats.
It's quite cold.
Yeah.
Not that cold yet, but
you know what? I forgot to turn that light. That'll help us look better.
Should we start over? Edit that out. Yeah, look at that. So my allergies are acting up. So at any point I could start out in a sneezing fit. So you don't have to say God bless you every time.
No. I mean, if you want to name a different god each time, I would be very impressed. I would be very impressed. It's not necessary, but go you for knowing that many.
Yeah, so
it's not necessary, but we would appreciate it.
So I'm gonna be sniffly. I'm not sick. I just got allergies.
Yes, my poor dear. But howdy, folks.
Howdy.
Hi, I'm Mark. That's Beth.
Just Beth.
Yeah.
And this should be coming out to you shortly after Turkey Day, and I hope you had a good Turkey Day.
Honestly, Turkey Day for us is 2 days away, so this will be airing
a couple weeks after that.
I don't have my watch on me, so I can't do math.
So I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, that you ate till your stomach didn't burst, because that would be
not
bad.
Quite.
Don't
go full Monty Python there.
But get to the point where you need to retire to the sweatpants. That's a good Turkey Day.
Yeah.
So today we
undo one button midway through.
Yeah, having Turkey Day be over and moving into the holidays.
Turkey and pumpkin pie.
Even further into the holidays, because we will be discussing
the Yuletide.
The Yuletide.
Yes.
Traditions.
We touched on that a good amount last year. We did. It was a marathon. We did like 3 episodes.
Yeah. So we're just going to touch on it briefly here. The 12 Days of Yule.
Yeah. For YouTube and Rumble Spotify users, those episodes were audio only. You'll have to go to Spotify to find those, at least for now, until we backlog and retrofill those enough to bring them to the video platform. I'll work on that. I promise.
But right now they're on there in audio. But in case you don't want to go look those up, we're going to touch on that again today.
Yeah, and we're actually going to expand a little bit past what we're there, because we were really just kind of broad brushing and overviewing, just kind of taking a low resolution, what you might call the 10,000 foot view, or low resolution look at it.
Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes, there you go. And so we're going to get just a little bit, instead of like 10,000 feet, we're going to come down to about 5, maybe 3,000 feet. Not quite into the nitty gritty there, but...
Well, I mean, we have to add a whole bunch of asterisks here.
Asterisks aplenty.
Because these old traditions, these old myths, things like that, they vary from region to region. They depends on who you talk to, where the person's from. When you get even further into
time frame,
yeah,
locality, yeah.
When you get further into the actual practices and traditions that they uphold every year, that really varies from person to person. Just like, Christmas here, some people get together on Christmas Eve, some people get on Christmas, some people go here, there, whatever. Everyone's got their own take on the holidays.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is all stuff that's like Bronze Age or earlier, dating back to the first couple centuries. There, some of it's pre-Christian. Well, all this is
pre-Christian. So,
yeah.
So,
it's a good thing I don't talk for a living. But all of this is pre-Christian, and so with that, and also the Germanic, and that brings us to our second big asterisk. The first being that it varies a lot by region and by time frame, and the second big asterisk is this is all early Germanic, and I'm not going to do that every time, but just early Proto-Germanic or Germania, in that. Now, when we say Germanic tribes, I am not a professional anthropologist or archaeologist by any stretch of the imagination. I like watching documentaries. That's yeah. But when in the anthropological records, when people say Germanic tribes, what they're talking about is that name was ascribed to various tribes of a region that seemed to have a similar culture at the time when the Romans were marching northward, broadly stretching from where the Rhine River, which is just south of Belgium between France and Germany now, to the Volga River, which is about smack dab in the middle of Poland, and then from about the Danube River, which is Austria, north.
The Blue Danube?
Yes. The same river? Yeah, the same.
So very broad.
Yes. So
summarizing there.
Yeah. So if you were to ask old Tacitus or Bede, what were the Germanic tribes, that would be their answer. Pretty much the top half of Europe.
Yeah.
So...
So correct me if I'm wrong, but Germanic basically means just barbarian.
Not
or
quite.
Uncultured.
Well, barbarian is an even broader brush than Germanic. Barbarian was just kind of anyone that didn't speak Greek or Latin. Legend on that one is that it was a Greek philosopher, statesman. I can't remember his name.
Talker.
Yeah, some Greek politician or statesman at the time, when they were discussing the meeting with some emissary from a foreign country, who said the emissary from some other country, some other region was talking, because there were no countries at the time. Some other region was talking, and he just kind of dismissed, bah. It's all blah 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 to me. And
yeah.
So
it's not my language, so I don't care.
And that's the Roman MO. It's the Eddie Izzard bit. No country, no flag, no country. My rules, I just made them up. That is Rome. That's the Roman ethos. You lose the game. You didn't even know the rules. You didn't know you were playing a game, but you just lost the game because they made it up.
It's like playing a game with Lily. It's like, no, that's not how the rules go. The rules go this way because that means I win.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
But,
wow. My headphones are really loud. No wonder I was having so many problems.
But
wow.
Is that better?
Yeah, but I just realized I am really quiet. My headphones were like crank. How did that happen?
I haven't touched anything.
I know you haven't. The last persons to be out here were me and Jay.
Yeah, and you probably turned him way down. He was probably using that mic because he talks loudly.
And we get excited. Yeah, we do. Okay, that's a lot better. Yeah.
I can actually hear you now.
Hi.
But
I just I was looking at the levels and it's like, wow, why am I so quiet? Oh, my headphones are cranked to the max. How'd that happen? I'm gonna bring those down just a little bit more. Yeah.
So that sand trombone was worse for you.
Oh, yeah. I can still hear it. Let me try this here.
That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, we're just ironing out the
We're
kinks.
not professionals.
I've had a long and trying day, so I'm pretty tired. But
Yeah, we're both running on fumes. So we will try to snowball our way through this,
yeah.
through Yule, as best we can.
And one other big asterisk I want to touch on is a lot of these stories and customs and traditions and whatnot, for the longest time, were passed down by speaking.
Yes, oral tradition.
Oral traditions. Nothing was written down.
The Germanic tribes were not big on written records, and that has been a problem for historians through the centuries.
Because it's a game of telephone, purple monkey dishwasher, you know.
Yeah.
So
and it doesn't at all. Yeah.
So,
Purple monkey dishwasher is like the ultimate example of what goes wrong when you're trying to pass information word by word. Yes. And it gets even worse than that, because the three main sources for that are Snorri, Sturluson, and Bede, who were much later on. They were Roman Tacitus, and I think Bede. No, Bede was an English scholar, as was Snorri, but Tacitus was a Roman historian. Now he was closer to the source because of time frame, but still viewing things through the eyes of a Christian Roman, going into Northern Europe and trying to record all these things. So
yeah, he got to add the little things in there as his beliefs.
yeah, so you're viewing these German tribes, these pagan tribes, through the eyes of a Christian Roman,
who's supposed to document them and decides to put his own little take on
his
things.
prejudices, his perspective on it always bleed through, and that kind of speaks to human nature. And
whoever's holding the pen is the one who makes the rules.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
And then the Snorri and Bede, they came later. I think they were both English, so that's way later. And going through that, but then you've still got the problem of these guys are way later, and they're English and Christian, going into looking at these ancient pagan tribes. So yeah.
It's all foobarred. So
make of it what you will.
Yeah, so the information available could be right, could not. We don't know. We weren't there. So
no, you're right. There's really no way to say definitively this is it.
So
at least until Doc Brown finishes the DeLorean.
Okay, well, good luck with that. So,
I'm holding out hope, man. I saw a DeLorean at the shop a couple weeks back, so I'm holding out hope.
You took pictures. It was funny.
It was awesome. It was an actual DeLorean. The guy had just finished restoring it. One of your childhood heroes comes into your shop. You take pictures.
Yeah. So
I'm all tangled.
So the 12 days of Yule.
12 days of Yule.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this where we get the 12 days of Christmas psalm from?
I can't correct that.
Oh, okay. I mean, it would make sense because, growing up, I was like, why are they only doing 12 days? Is it because 25 would just really make people hate that psalm a lot more than people already hate that song?
Nobody likes that song.
Nobody likes that song. It keeps going and going and going.
This song is more hated than fruitcake.
Fruitcake gets a bad rap.
It does. If you can find a good one, they're really good.
The only part people like of the 12 days of Christmas is 5 golden rings. Because you get to yell it at the top of your lungs. Kids love that part.
Word. Yep.
Cutest bag of cats.
Children's choirs really are the cutest bag of cats you'll ever hear.
So, I just figured it was trying to, take an old tradition and twist it around for a new tradition, like
most of Christianity is, yes.
I wouldn't know if I would call that Christianity, though, because there's really nothing in that psalm that pertains to the Christian version of Christmas, other than just Christmas.
True, and most of that song, I believe, dates back to roughly the Middle Ages, 1500s, 1600s. That's, Lords of Leaping, Ladies in Waiting,
Maids of Milking.
Maids of Milking. Yeah, this is all middle-aged Europe iconography things.
Yeah.
And so, and that's when Christianity had really taken a firm foothold in Europe ethos, the European continent. So that's why I kind of threw that in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right. Yeah, it's not overtly, other than being tied to Christian or Christmas.
Yeah, as a term.
Yeah, I never really thought about it.
Yeah. Well, at least it's got more to do with Christmas than My Favorite Things, because I still don't understand why that's a Christmas song.
It's not.
It's not. And
It's not.
Sound of Music did not take place in the winter, or around Christmas.
In fact, it was, I think it was like summer. Yeah.
Yeah, has nothing to do other than the fact that you like themes.
No, in fact, if it had been winter, the Von Trapp family wouldn't have been able to make their escape.
Yeah, that's right, because the roads would have been closed.
Because
snowed
snow.
in. Yeah.
They were living in the Austrian Alps.
So
Sound of Music, awesome movie.
Great
Finish
movie.
this episode and then go watch it.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Classic, yeah.
That should be in your collection. If it's not, I'm disappointed.
But anyway, back to the plot. So, day one. First day of Yule.
Yeah, and, well, okay, so what are the 12 days of Christmas and Yule as a whole? It's a winter festival. That lasts about 12 days long. I say about because it was lunar solar calendar.
Yeah.
These pagan tribes used a different calendar. Duh. But it was based off phases of the moon and the length of the days to know when the solstice was coming, and then tying it to the phases of the moon. Some cultures would start it on the new moon, some would start it on the full moon. So approximately when it starts and how long it goes varies by region and by time frame.
That asterisk.
Huge.
I'm just going to make like big cards with an asterisk on it and hold it up every time. That'd be funny.
Why do we not have that?
Asterisk. Next episode.
Next episode, yeah. I was looking for the fan we got from the history thing.
It's in the garage.
Oh man. From the time traveler fair.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait till next year. That was awesome. I wanted it to grow and be bigger.
Yeah. But anyway, Fresno Historical Society put on an event and we went.
Check them out. Fresno was it .org or .com?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Just Google Fresno Historical Society. Google it. You won't be disappointed. It's great.
Anyway,
so 12 days of Yule is just sort of, more or less, give or take. So that's, and it was historically observed by the Germanic peoples. I'm going to do that again. As we've discussed, basically the upper half of Europe. So
we need a map. With a little pointer.
I'll make a few slides. Future me, make a slide showing roughly the region of the Germanic tribes from, say, a couple hundred BC to, I don't know, 800 AD. Try and find that, okay? Do the best you can. Got it? Okay. Good job, me.
If you don't do it, you're really dropping the ball.
I'm going to be really disappointed in myself. It's the word. Today's episode brought to you by the word disappointed.
Today's episode brought to you by caffeine.
Caffeine, our sweet, sweet friend. Oh, it's an essential vitamin, I'm convinced. And so, as we've discussed, that the Roman definition of the German peoples and roughly when Yule takes place. And then that's further complicated by the changing of calendars. These early tribes operated mostly on a lunar solar calendar, observing the phases of the positions of the sun, the length of, they could measure the lengths of the days. The sundial wasn't lost on them. They could do that. They didn't have the calendars like we do. They just kind of watched phases of the moon and calculated out, it's about time for the earth to wake up. It's about time for the snow to fall. They could track that kind of stuff.
Track trends.
they would watch the geese migrate. It's like, oh, yep, winter's coming.
We do that.
We do that.
Towards the end of the summer, it's like, oh, the geese are migrating. I'm so happy.
We start seeing
Summer's
Canadian
coming
geese.
to the end.
All our the Canadian geese start moving. It's like, yes. So that's further complicated by, and then you've got subsequent Christian calendars changing the early Roman calendars, which was kind of lunar solar, and then the Julian calendar, and then the Gregorian calendar. So, and then that's further complicated by things like the Council of Nicaea, the Council of Tours, and then individual kings moving things around as it suited their needs. For example, Pope Julius I, that was when he declared, yeah, I'm big of him, that December 25th would be Christmas during the 4th century. I don't have the exact here, but sometime in the 4th century, so you're going to have to look up who Julius I is. That it would be, December 25th. Why? To align with Yule.
Mm-hmm. A lot of Christians, as Christianity started to gain steam, a lot of the leaders would graft Christian holidays onto existing pagan holidays to try and make conversion easier on them.
Yeah.
It's like, you can keep your traditions. We're just going to call it this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like, hey, I see you're praying to that tree. Are you praying to the one true God? Be a lot cooler if you did.
Or we're just going to say that you are now.
Yeah. And then, as I was saying, the Council of Tours, they placed the 12 days of Christmas from the 25th to the Epiphany, which is, I think, January
just after Christmas,
5th, January 8th. I'm trying to do math and it's not working.
There's really no way to know which day Jesus was born because the calendars back then didn't.
No, it was all lunar solar.
Yeah, it didn't. It's not the same calendar that we use now. That's why when you read the Old Testament, it's like he lived to be 753 years old.
No, that's a horrible translation error.
Or a different calendar, or a different calendar system.
Yeah.
So they maybe 753 months.
The Bible, the best thing I can say about the Bible is, and I can't remember who it was that said this, some person much wiser than myself, that maybe it was Jordan Peterson, said the Bible is worth taking seriously, but not literally.
That makes sense. It's like it's like Aesop's fables. It's good stories with good morals.
Yeah.
And live your life by be good to each other.
Yeah.
Don't take people's stuff. Don't kill people.
Don't hurt people. Don't take their stuff.
Don't sleep with anyone else's wife.
Yeah. I mean, that's commandments 6 through 10 are good, solid ideas to live your life by. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not covet.
Mm-hmm.
Which covet, it took me a few seconds, and it's like, well, I mean, what's wrong with wanting things? Mm-hmm. No, they're talking about being greedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Greedy. When you've given your love to things instead of loving your life, loving your gods.
Because
loving your family.
Commandments 1 through 5 is just all that
spooky language meant to control.
Spooky language. Yeah. Anyway, so it's good stories that you can use with morals to guide, uses guidelines, but it didn't actually happen. So all of it anyway.
Parts have been found to be at least somewhat historically accurate. Getting back that far into the historical record, it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Noah's flood? No. Now, maybe there was a great flood in that region.
But literally, two people,
flood the whole
two
world.
Of every animal, seriously. And they were able to go all across the whole world and collect these animals in one day.
Yeah. Well, that gets into how do you define the world.
Yeah.
At that time, the world was probably about 3 villages wide.
Yeah. That's what you knew.
Yours and the next village that way and the next village that way.
But our
world is much bigger.
Our goal tonight is not to refute the Bible. Our goal is to talk about the 12 days of Yule. So,
Yes.
getting back on track, what is day 1 of Yule?
We were talking about getting off track.
And I just got us back on track. So,
You do that very well.
see, when you and Jay start going, there's nobody here to play referee. That's
No.
my job.
Yes. Oh,
Because
man.
you guys are tangents and tangents and tangents on tangents. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so day 1.
Okay.
On the first day of Yule.
Okay, so yeah, we front loaded with enough asterisks and got off on enough tangents.
Already.
Yeah.
It's only been 25 minutes.
Okay, so why? How and why? We know what and when and roughly where, or those are all approximate, but how and why? So the point of it was prayer and worship mostly to give thanks and to give sacrifice and thanks and prepare for the oncoming winter and prepare for the next year as it approaches.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of similar to Samhain.
Yeah,
And
because, all these people knew back then is, I have no more crops. The food I have is what I have. Please let me live till next spring.
Yes. Yes.
We love you, gods. Please keep us alive until next spring.
Yeah, and that's an overarching theme through many of the days is giving thanks to the gods and praying for their guidance and protection and let me live.
Yeah. I would really like it if me and my family and my village, most of it, was able to survive till spring.
Except for Fred. He knows why.
Freaking Fred. He knows what he did.
He knows what he did. I don't know.
Anyway.
If there's anybody watching this named Fred, sorry.
Yeah.
Just random name.
I'm sure you're a good person. Unless you're not, in which case you know what you did. Moving on.
Moving on.
Or getting started, I guess. Not so much moving on, getting started.
So, giving, and preparing for the next living, divinations were often themed through. I'm not going to get too much into exactly what ceremonies were done on what day. Just kind of
varies by region.
Varies way too much. Yeah, we're sticking at the, like I said, we're going from 10,000 to about 3,000 feet. We're not going to get down into the weeds too far on this ceremony was done this day on this manner by the, and conducted blah blah. No. Align the 12 power stones and then say a prayer. No, not doing that. I don't know. But sacrifices were often held.
Animals.
And that is one thing that's kind of survived. A lot of this stuff has survived in one form or another, as you've pointed out, the co-opting of traditions, and like they're just going to call it this now. One example of that is the Yule. I've pronounced that, the Yule goat. Animal sacrifices were a common thing, especially at the first day.
Mm-hmm. Now they make straw goats.
Straw goats. Yeah. The reason for that was...
Talk amongst yourselves.
I gotta find my notes. King Hakon the Good of Norway. He comes.
I heard he was pretty good.
Yeah. Most people agreed so. And he comes up a lot in history. I don't know the history of Norway enough, as much as I probably should, especially for discussing these matters.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Norway. We love you.
Even though you have no tigers or lions. Old song.
Old song, pre-YouTube, man.
Yeah, this is
just Google only in Kenya, and it's like a 2-minute video, and it's just a song that will get stuck in your head.
It will. Yeah.
It is like one of the ultimate earworms. Top 5 ever best earworms. But King Hakon the Good of Norway proclaimed that Christmas Day would become on the same day as Yule. He also did a lot to try and convert people and converge the two things.
That's a Christian's day.
Because his time, he was born around 920, from 920 to 961, reigned from 934 to 961. So a lot of Christianity was on the rise. After the fall of Western Rome, a lot of paganism had reasserted itself throughout Europe.
Pretty much after the early 300s when Constantine kind of, put some rhyme and reason to Christianity.
The first Council of Nicaea and then the subsequent, Christianity had been rising. But then as Rome fell by 450, it had kind of, a lot of paganism had come reasserting itself back, except for the Visigoths, who they were the last straw to really topple the Western Rome. So, but then Christianity came storming back by the 700s. Charlemagne's kingdom, the Carolingian Empire, respread Christianity through a lot of Europe. It's more complicated than that, I know, but we're staying vague.
Yeah.
But he was the one. He led the charge in as far as Norway and I think some of Sweden, what is today Sweden, in co-opting a lot of those traditions, and such as a lot of them have survived. The straw goats, goats and wood goats took the place of killing real goats.
Yeah.
So that's where we get that. But it's right out of Yule.
So they made sacrifices to appease the gods.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did. If the gods gave us something, it's only polite to give something back.
That's a beautiful line, yeah. Who was that?
It was from Samhain.
Oh, your Halloween decorating.
Yeah,
yes.
Documentary, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how she put it. She's like, if the earth, because she was talking about the harvest, Mother Earth had given up her bounty, they thought it only polite to give something back.
Yeah.
Golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. So,
I mean, reciprocity and cooperation are another one of the big themes through this. Being good to your neighbors and cooperating with your neighbors for group goals and survival of the clan, survival of your village, comes through again and again and again and again. These guys were very big on community.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all they had. They relied on each other, and it's not. Today we're all very independent.
Yeah.
Because we have the means to do so. Back then,
really weird.
Yeah, because
we're not evolutionarily ready for that.
Yeah.
We're not
intelligently, no.
Well, just the way our brains are wired, we're not ready for the type of self-induced isolation we put ourselves through with just barreling into social media. We need physical, face-to-face contact. That's how our brain is wired.
Yeah, and that's been taken away, but that's a different show. So,
yeah.
But yeah, back then, community, everyone helped. Everyone got some. This person
biscuits.
may be a good shepherd, but he's not a very good farmer. So he tends the flocks.
Yeah, and he's crap with a hammer.
Yeah. The farmer and the shepherd might not be good craftsmen. So the guy with the hammer does that,
Yeah.
But everyone's got their own special talents and
I'll fix
not so much talents, but what their families, it's generational.
Yes.
The family generation of, tending the herds or manning the farm or whatever. But since everyone kind of had their own thing, they all came together to help each other out.
Yeah. And that's a good point, that your family traditions played a huge role in it as well.
Yeah.
Family practices were passed down generationally, farmer to farmer to the family farm got passed down.
Yeah.
Or if you were blacksmiths, it got passed down. If you were woodsmiths, woodcutters.
Yeah, these fathers were teaching their sons as early as they could pick up the tools, so.
Quite literally. It's like, you're 5. You're going to start learning to work the forge, boy.
Yep. You can pump the bellows.
That's right.
Keep them bellows going, boy.
And, and it also gave, doing that, not only does that kid now learn a trade so that if anything happens to the parent, they can now do that, but it also gives one a sense of identity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at last names.
Yeah.
Smith is from...
You were a
blacksmith.
Blacksmith,
your
goldsmith.
trade
metalsmithing.
Your trade became your last name.
Yeah. Cooper.
Cooper, yeah.
But yeah. But anyways, we're getting off.
Mm-hmm.
So, Samhain, or not Samhain,
Yule.
Yule.
We got started talking about Samhain.
Well, they're so parallel, and there's a good number of parallels, such as caroling and giving back to God and sacrifices, and also the belief that this was one of the times of the year that the veil between this world and the next was kind of thinned out so that it could be pierced with, and hopefully with good intents, that spirits would come to this world and visit. And so you wanted to be hospitable to them, and you received their blessings and guidance, protection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but the first night is Mother's Night. Yeah.
No.
So-
Everyone love you, Mama.
Yeah. Modernit.
Modern.
Yeah, it's hard for me to pronounce roll my R's like that. Modernit.
I can pronounce Norwegian or Welsh. Too many consonants in Welsh. Not enough vowels.
It's okay, I struggle with it too.
So I will take your word on that.
Actually, I think this is early Germanic, but anyways. Yeah, a lot of those Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, those languages all more or less, I think even Icelandic.
Northern Europe areas.
Northern language, yeah, they all kind of stem at least partially from Proto-Germanic, going back to like, I don't know, 600 BC, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, a root language. Depends on how far back you want to go. But so Mother's Night. The theme for that would be for what are called the Disir, which are your spiritual ancestral mothers. So grandma's grandma.
The ones that
ancestral
have
means
passed over.
living or passed over, your
ancestors, yeah.
ancestors, but also Frigg and Freya.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of pagan traditions, they worship, or at least, call on their ancestors a lot. So
Yeah, the belief that they're all within.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
kind of gets into something I've thought about: the three forms of memory. That you've got your personal memory, your ancestral memory, and your spiritual memory.
What about your muscle memory?
That falls into personal memory.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, so Frigg and Freya.
Yeah,
Freya was the goddess of.
I don't remember.
I think she was like beauty or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. Leave us a comment.
Yeah, I tried not to get down too far into this god did this and this god did this, because there's so many gods.
And like
cornucopia.
Yeah, there are so many gods, and like Greek gods, they don't just do one thing.
No,
they're a whole bunch of different things. So,
they went to Costco and got their gods in bulk.
Yeah. And each god did a number of things.
And much like much like a Swiss knife, that does everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the Disseblot in Old Sweden, the Disir, various women and females from and other spirits that uphold, defend the family, the clan, the tribe. Some German tribes would actually raise stone monuments to various ancestors or goddesses being depicted, carved in, and they would raise those and have ceremony around them.
Not unlike gravestones?
Might be gravestones. There might be some smaller gravestones, but this was more, the community would come out and make a big thing.
Okay.
Very a monument up on a hill that everyone could see and go, "We made that."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's because we love this kite.
Yeah. we made that giant statue. Yeah, it's like the height of like 5 people, and it's really heavy, and we all pitched in and made that because we love that goddess. And
Go you?
yeah, I mean, it's like that Avatar episode, the lady, the painted lady.
Oh yeah.
It's like they would make things in her honor and in her visage because she watched over and protected that village. So they would make these stone monuments in honor of that god because they believed that god or goddess protected that village and that region. So
Makes sense.
yeah, so Mother's Night would be to celebrate mothers. Spiritual Mother Earth, the main goddess Freya, Frigg, because, and so, second night would be
The second day of Yule is.
Oh no, leaving out an important thing. My notes kind of went this way because there was more than I could fit right there. So day one.
Makes sense to him, I think.
Mostly.
Somewhat.
Yeah. I have a plan.
No, he doesn't.
Sometimes I do.
Bismarck
So,
had a plan.
Bismarck always had a plan. That was why he is awesome.
But
Okay,
anyway,
so
sorry, go on.
the sun and moon are female spirits.
Both of them?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm used to the sun being male and the moon female.
I don't know, that kind of struck me as odd as well. Or at least in this, they were seen as both female.
Okay. I mean, traditions.
I'm going
traditions
to roll
are
with
different.
it because of the story of the origin of Sleipnir. When the craftsmen demanded that, it's like, I'll finish it in one day, the wall around Midgard or Asgard. I'll finish it in one season, but you're going to give me Freya, the sun and the moon.
That's right.
And the sun and the moon were not objects, but
People.
celestial beings. Yeah. So why else would he want them if they weren't women?
Well, I don't know. Back then,
Well, that's
guys swing both ways. But
especially
yeah.
gods.
Oh yeah. But
Zeus, brother, keep it in your pants, man.
no, he basically just pursued women. But yeah. The guy who married the goddess of marriage
Couldn't keep it in his toga.
couldn't keep it in his toga. Yeah.
At all.
Every other day, he was falling head over heels in love with someone.
Yeah. So that kind of so the sun and moon are female spirits, and yeah, just checking my notes. And so they were celebrated in Mother's Night. The goddess Suna is.
Excuse me.
A lot was done to her, and her legend lives on today and to modern times. Soon, you're getting ready for that. This would be like done on the solstice.
Okay.
That Suna, which I'm not sure may or may be the name of the sun, would make sense to me. Sun.
You think so?
Makes sense to me. The phonetics are there.
The phonetics are there, yeah.
That you're getting ready for her return. So the solstice being the shortest day of the year, the longest night of the year. After that, the day is certain to lengthen out. So this would be done on the solstice. Day one is done on the solstice to prepare for her return. And one thing done was people would often stay up all night, keeping candles lit and torches lit to welcome her and to ask her blessings and good luck. And to greet her and to show appreciation for her bringing fire. The sun is the source of the first fire, so that was done in appreciation. So the offering of fire in appreciation for her providing the sun's warmth. But also her story, her tradition kind of lives on in Saint Lucia. And that goes into is co-opted into the Christian tradition of Saint Lucia, where you would find people walking. She would have a crown of evergreen, about a wreath, basically. She was wearing a wreath, and you'd have candles on it, and she would walk through town. There would be procession, yeah. And I think she would often have. See, I wrote this stuff down somewhere. Yeah. Often depicted with a wreath crown with their pagan name, Lucy. She
Lucy.
is
Sorry.
often spelled Lussi.
Oh.
Spellings vary, but she is the light bringer and guides us through the darkness. Some area had a Lusa brood, a light bride, to kind of depict her walking through town processions through the town and give blessings to people. It was believed that she could talk to animals, and this is kind of keeps people on their toes. She would talk to animals in the area, the farm animals, or sometimes I guess wild animals if they were nearby, and ask them what's been going on.
Yeah. Has your owner's been taking good care of you?
Yeah, your animals would narc you out.
So treat your animals good.
Yeah. So if you were mean to your dog, he'd narc you out to to Lucia or Suna, and so you would get stones thrown at you.
Yeah, if you got drunk and kicked the dog, you're screwed.
Yes. Yeah. So accountability there, bucko.
Yeah, so be good to your animals.
So yeah, she would ask about people's deeds, or if you'd been good to your animals, bestow blessings. So, and that's another thing that comes through. Punishments and rewards come through these cultures a lot.
Yeah, the whole Santa thing.
Santa versus Krampus.
Yeah.
Krampus would take the bad children, put them in sacks, and beat them.
I saw a meme earlier today, whether or not it's true or not, and said, everyone knows about Krampus, who takes bad children, but there are several old German pictures depicting a woman taking bad men and beating them and sticking them in a sack. And she had horns and the tongue like Krampus, and worth looking up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I saw it in a meme, so whether or not it's true.
Bit of coin toss.
Yeah.
Might be partially true.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But anyway, so
that would be done on solstice night. So that's Mother's Night. The next night would be... Where'd it go? Yes. Day 2. Yeah. So we should think on and remember justice. Remember to treat others fairly, looking past our emotional impulses, and consider the ideas behind the act. What precedent are you setting? I don't know if there was exactly a god to that one. My old notes that...
Well, I mean, justice is considered kind of a goddess.
Yeah.
You see her out in front of the courtrooms. Justice is blind.
Yeah.
The scale and whatnot. There is a Greek god like that. I can't remember which one it is, though.
It is crazy, the parallels between Greek and German.
And Roman.
And Roman. Well, Romans just sort of copied and pasted.
Yeah. Sounds good. We'll use it. Yeah.
The idea of plagiarism hadn't quite, or copyright, didn't quite exactly translate into Latin, apparently. Okay, so moving along. Yeah, we'll try to hurry this.
So day 2 is to remember justice and
yeah,
think that there might be a reason behind why people act the way they do.
Yeah, and to treat people fairly. So that kind of rubs off on the first day. There's a lot of overlap between these days. Sometimes things that would be celebrated in one day would be kind of echoed into the next day. So a lot of tying in day by day by day by day. And that's what, and just kind of tying them all together in a series. I mean, it'd be like trying to read Two Towers without having read The Fellowship.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So moving on to day 3. Day 3, or did I write anything down here?
There's day 3.
There's day 3, yeah. Okay, so I wrote day 3 down in 2 places. Day 3 would be to consider courage, the god Mani, and the concept of darkness. Courage, the will to intervene despite risk to self or be punished for your ideals, rather than renouncing your idea under pressure. To hold a thing that you know to be true, even when it's an unpopular idea, and others are telling you you're wrong, but you stay to it steadfastly and say, no, this is right. So that takes courage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these would have storytelling. People would gather around and tell stories, because in a lot of these, you're supposed to be taking a time of rest and recuperation. No work would be done during the time of Yule, the 12 days of Yule. You're supposed to be industrious through the rest of the year and then take a break during the 12 days of Yule. And you would actually, the gods would actually punish you for work left undone. That comes up in one of the days. I can't remember exactly.
We'll get to it when we get there.
We'll get there. I'll cross that bridge when we get there. But on day 3, the Courage, the story of Tyr, early Germanic god, best known for wrestling and killing the enormous hound of Fenrir, Fenrir.
Sounds right.
It bit off his hand or arm, depending on which version of the story you hear. It was a giant hound that had been plaguing a village, stealing the livestock, stealing children, and so he went out to fight it. He was a known warrior, very heroic character, and he beat the wolf, killed it, but it cost him a limb.
Not a leg?
Not a leg. Just an arm.
Gotcha.
It was a 50% off sale.
So,
he was a brave warrior and champion of justice. So, like Finn.
I was just about to say that. So it's like Finn.
Only like.
And Finn lost his arm too. I think it was his left arm.
No, this is right.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to watch.
That's crazy.
Very much like Finn, I guess.
Yeah, Adventure Time, a lot smarter than we thought.
But Finn lost his because of his dad.
Yeah. But, wow, Adventure Time, a lot smarter than we thought, man.
Or completely by accident.
Let me have this, Beth.
Okay. I mean, who knows? The writers the writers could have done their homework. I don't know.
There's been times where you catch them saying something really smart, especially Jake's little isms.
Oh yeah, sometimes Jake gets really wise.
Yeah.
'Cause I always believe you when you use that tone of voice.
The haircut.
Yeah.
Jake was so on right there.
Yeah. But anyway,
moving on, day 4.
On the 4th day.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So that would be Freya and Njord? Yorth? I'm not sure pronunciation.
You probably don't pronounce the N. Probably just Yord.
Probably.
And Jade was, pronounced as Y.
Yeah. Well, I heard a couple different pronunciations, so I had to write them down phonetically as best I could.
Yeah.
There's that asterisk again.
Mm-hmm.
Names vary. Yeah, you just need that sign. You need that Wile E. Coyote style sign. Whoop.
Yeah. Next time we record.
Yeah. So truth and generosity. The selfish and the greedy isolate themselves and are isolated from the flow of energy that is found in community. There's that word community again. Sharing is caring. And the earth has shared. Yord was the word for Mother Earth.
Ah.
Okay, so I knew I wrote it down somewhere. Yord is the god of and Njorth is the god of ships, wealth, and prosperity. Getting into Norwegian culture, even that far back, shipping is everything. They were a very seagoing folk.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So ships were tied to the idea of whether or not you've got enough stuff to get through winter, but also just the overall prosperity of your family, your clan, and your village. So
if you're going to trade, You did it by ship.
Absolutely. Traveling over land was horribly treacherous.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you've got dirt roads. And if you don't have a horse, you're carrying it all yourself. Yeah.
And those areas, I don't think had horses. They had goats.
Goats. Well, depends on which area. The Germanic areas, Germany, what is now Germany, Poland, all that, yeah, they could have horses. They've got enough room. But as you go further north, it's completely inhospitable to horses.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you could train, Sven,
Yeah.
train a caribou to pull your sleigh.
Reindeer.
There you go.
The reindeer do live up north, so.
Christoph and Sven,
Yeah.
let it go. I'm going to let that go and move on to the next day.
There we go. Day 5.
We're getting the rim shots here today. Okay, so day 5 would be Feasts of Community. They're overlap.
Feasts or feasts?
Feasts.
Oh, so like Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanksgiving and so honor and hospitality. Feasts of Community to celebrate the ideas of honor and hospitality. Being hospitable is in part a generous thing, but it also makes one vulnerable. To have somebody come into your home.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if this person is going to wreak havoc in your home.
Mm-hmm.
You have brought them into your inner sanctum. Your family is all around you. They are vulnerable to the whims of this person. So, but also, if you have been invited to another person's home, you are vulnerable. You are in their inner sanctum. You're trusting that you're going to go in there and they're not going to murder you.
So it's kind of a tit for tat type thing.
Right. It keeps one honorable.
Honest.
It keeps you honest and to behave in an honorable fashion so that both persons can enjoy each other.
Yeah, going back to Greek mythology, hospitality was taken very seriously. If you denied a person the rights to hospitality, you were basically just damning yourself.
Yeah.
You know, all the gods would turn on you. They had the right to attack you now.
Damn.
It was taken very seriously.
Especially if you were a person of means.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Nobility or
nobility,
something like
yeah. If you had a large estate and means, you were expected to roll it out for persons asking for hospitality.
That's what got poor Penelope put in such a bad spot, because she had to roll out the welcome wagon to all these would-be suitors, and even though they were bleeding her dry and being very rowdy and unkind and
Just eating up all of her stuff.
yeah, trying to kill her son.
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I missed that part.
Oh yeah, Telemachus. They wanted to kill him because if he became of age before Odysseus came back, he got the throne and they'd be
that's
SOL.
right.
So they were trying to kill him.
Dang, yeah.
Anyway, Odyssey.
Yeah.
I just recently watched a series about it. So anyway, going.
It is a fascinating story. The Iliad's a tough read, but the Odyssey ties it all together.
Yeah, and if you can't read it, there's
Audiobooks. I mean,
there's audiobooks, but you know, sometimes even just the language, it's hard to follow. But there's a series on the Iliad and the Odyssey on Roku. So
Roku?
Yeah.
Roku channel?
Yeah, Roku channel.
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
And it was
Look
free.
And that's what I watched, and it was well done. Well done.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so hospitality.
Hospitality, feasts of community, honor. But yeah, you were so trust is needed for you to bring somebody into your home or for you to go into the home of another. You've got to be able to trust this person. So that gives that. And this also, you know, like I said, there's going to be overlap from the series prior. This is getting into truth and generosity. Well, hospitality is a form of generosity. So overlapping. So to give praise to the land brights. They were beings, spirits of the land in which we, you know, the land in which you live is alive and is inhabited by spirits all around you. Give thanks and praise to them. Or as you said earlier, if the land has given you so much, it's only
polite
to give something back.
Yeah.
Yes. So land rights, land wraiths, land brights. I'm not sure. The name varies. Asterisk. the land in which you live is very much, unless you live in like a giant metropolis like Southern California where everything's concrete, the land in which you live in is probably alive with spirits.
I like to think so.
Oh yeah, I mean our almond tree is definitely alive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's pretty happy. I hope
It's got
so.
squirrels.
It's got squirrels.
We keep the cats out of it.
Yeah, our squirrels like us.
Yeah, we always get bees.
Yeah,
So.
and hummingbirds.
Hmm?
I just refilled the hummingbird feeder. So
Yeah. Day 6?
day 6. Moving on. So this should be the goddesses Ear and Frigga. Frigga?
Virgo? I don't know.
No, it's an A.
Oh, okay.
I can. I'm trying to read my own handwriting, but I was tired when I was writing it, so it's more sloppy than usual.
Yeah, bless your heart.
Yeah, when I start getting tired, the dyslexia kicks in hard, and also just sort of so letters blend together, and the spelling gets worse.
Yeah, there's another one down here where you can see the A, so
Yeah.
yeah, that one's better.
Okay, so it kind of seems so. This is the day to celebrate moderation.
So after the day of feasts, it's the day of moderation.
Yes.
We don't have one of those after Thanksgiving.
No, we go to Target and beat the crap out of each other for
Right.
new big screen TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We're
so
around somewhere.
to celebrate the idea of moderation seems a little counterintuitive, but it does make sense when you get kind of into it a little bit.
Okay.
Because nobody respects a glutton.
Not really. Well, it depends on the culture.
Yeah. Well,
In some cultures, gluttons are seen as the wealthy people, therefore they must have good ideals.
yeah, that's true. So that gets into the culture and the time period thereof. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at least in this explanation of the 12 days of Yule, that's what they attributed day 6 to. So no one respects a glutton, so don't really overdo it. Enjoy the feasts, but don't make a pig of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go hog wild and just devour everything in sight, because that's also a very selfish thing to
I was
do.
about to say, gluttony could go hand in hand with just greed.
Yes, it
You're
does. That's where I was
greedy.
going. So, yeah, by doing that, you're depriving others of opportunity of enjoying the good things on the table there. So don't be selfish. Don't be greedy. Don't be gluttonous. So feast
Don't be an
responsibly.
ass.
Don't be an ass.
Yeah.
Feast responsibly. We're going to stamp that one. Self-control is a virtue. So that's where they're going with that, is to feast responsibly, have a little self-control. When you're full, stop.
Yeah, these aren't the Romans where they'll just go and vomit. So they'll overindulge and then vomit. So yeah. Completely different.
No.
I haven't finished vomiting.
Hedonism bot, yes.
Love hedonism bot.
Because he's so wrong. It's so wretchedly wrong that I find him enjoyable. I don't know. Something's wrong with me, I guess. I don't know.
There's a lot wrong with you, honey. We didn't have time to open up that box. But so that was day 7, 6.
That's day 6. So Freya and Frigga, divine mothers, they were seen as a force. One of their traits was seen as a force of stability and moderation. So that was, that's for them on day 6. Day 7. Where'd it go? Community. Once again, community. That was cute. The joy of Yule springs from one's community, and this, your family, your tribe, your village, your town, those around you, being with those that are near and dear to you, that are close to your heart. Whether it's your extended family, those who you've just adopted as your kin, or really are your blood kin, just having that community around you, and the value of the friendships and the relationships therein. So remembering the dearly departed, the ancestors, the Kinfilia. I'm hoping I spelled that correctly to be able to pronounce that correctly. What I think that means is your extended family.
Mm.
The Kinfilia. Next of kin.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we get that.
Mm-hmm. Like going to your family's house on Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Which we're doing.
Yes. Always do.
Yes. Yeah, it's become a tradition.
Well, it's been a tradition as long as I've been alive. So.
Yeah. Tradition.
Why was there a fiddler on the roof?
Tradition. Yes. Thank you. So yeah, the presence of the living kin, the ancestors, and to be useful to your community, to make yourself available to them as they would make themselves available to you.
Mm-hmm.
The reciprocity, going back and forth, giving to each other, being there for each other, helping each other. It overlaps with...
Sometimes self-appointed kin are a lot better about that than the ones you're born with. Friends.
Yeah. Yeah. The ones you... Yeah.
You choose yourself.
I consider that the adopted kin.
Yeah. The ones you choose yourself.
Yeah. When you've had when somebody's been your bro, your buddy,
Mm-hmm.
or you like...
Your soul sister.
Yeah, like Sarah and Gwen and Jen, you've known all of them for like 20 years or something like that. And so yeah, those are your sisters now.
Yeah, they're my sisters.
Yeah.
That's why we refer to them as aunties around Lily.
Yep. So as far as Lily knows, those really are her aunts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They act like them.
Yeah.
So yes.
So day 7 would be valuing things such as that. Your near kin and your extended kin.
Yeah. Be nice to them because they'll be nice to you.
Yes, and giving remember lifting a glass once in a while for the dearly departed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Get the glass in there. Yeah. I always kind of raise my right arm, being right-handed. My right arm kind of shoots off screen all the time. Need a wide-angle lens.
Mm-hmm. Do you like Lily go clink, clink?
Clink. So we will move on to day 8. 8. Okay, so day 8 holds... Now this is kind of interesting because day 7 is community. Day 8 counterbalances that with the concept of individuality.
I was about to say what? Not being nice to people?
No.
So being independent.
Being independent. While group goals are great and you can accomplish great things in a cooperative setting with others to achieve something large, it's also worth noting of what you can do as an individual. What are you personally capable of doing and growing? How far can you grow on your own? Being surrounded by others, you can do great things, but you also got to give yourself some alone time to be able to think and assess yourself and also plan what are your things.
It's kind of like New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. I mean, this is all building up to New Year's,
Mm-hmm.
what we would call New Year's. For them, this was New Year's.
Yeah, this was New Year's.
So, but also being independent, many sagas and stories about a person being out on a quest to celebrate the uniqueness of self. There was the god Uller. Uller, it's Ullr, was the most common spelling I found reference to this. But the unique, ever-evolving individual self. And apparently that god or figure was often associated with the concept of the unique, ever-changing, evolving self. Now, so moving on to day 9, to ruminate on the ideas of truth, that the Vor were the god Vor or Var. It's either spelled with an A or an O, depending on what version you find. Yep. They were the goddesses of oaths and promises.
Just a side note, every time I hold my hand like that, you should put an asterisk there.
Future me, work on that.
Sorry, I just thought about that. So go on.
That's
Go
a
on.
good idea. It'll work until I make a real sign.
Yeah. So truth.
Truth
So, is good.
Lies damage relationships. We've just spent the last couple days working on relationships. Be truthful. Thou shalt not lie. Hey, there's a good idea. Or at least I love how Jordan Peterson says, tell the truth or at least don't lie. And what he's meaning there, I think he means there is like, you can get around saying the blunt truth from time to time, maybe to spare someone's feelings or something, but you don't. So you don't have to be blunt about it, but don't lie to them.
I thought it would like mean more along the lines of, if you can't say the truth, don't say anything at all. So when you ask somebody if they're, about something, they just sit there and don't say anything. It's like, well, I'm not lying because I'm not saying anything.
Hey, look, a squirrel. If I say nothing, I didn't lie. Yeah.
Lily does that. It's like, you're going to be a good girl today, right? No answer. Going to be a good girl today, right? No answer.
I'm just going to take that as a yes.
It's like, I don't like this. I don't like the way we're starting the day here, honey.
This bodes poorly.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm going to get a call from her teacher later.
It usually goes fine.
But, yeah.
I like to think that when she doesn't answer, she's just kind of like
Off in her own little world.
off her
really
own
listen
little
to me.
world. Yeah, she's not plotting anything usually.
No, she's usually up front with her plotting. She's not very good at lying.
No, thankfully she doesn't. She hasn't discovered the concept of subterfuge and
Just a really quick example of that. Today during her therapy, we were playing hide and seek, and she always does it. It's so cute that when you count, she runs and hides, and when you say ready or not, here I come, she's like, Mom, I'm in here. I'm hiding in the bathtub. It's like, well, you're not supposed to tell me where you hide. Mom, I'm hiding under your bed. Bless her heart. She's so cute.
Oh, we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Anyway.
Okay, so telling the truth. So lies damage relationships.
Mm-hmm. They really do.
They just do.
They just do.
It's going to hurt somebody. It's going to hurt things, and it breaks trust. It breaks the trust when you lie to people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard thing to rebuild.
Trust is like a piece of paper.
Yeah. Go.
It's an old saying. Trust is like a piece of paper. And when you break that trust, you crumple up that piece of paper. And you might try and fix it and smooth it out. No matter how much you smooth it, those creases will never go away.
Never fully go away.
Yeah, never fully go away. So you can try and mend that rift between you and the person you betrayed, but they're still going to have that thought in the back of their head that you could do it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So there is, that is very important.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important and very well said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So where I lost my place. Okay, there it is. Yeah. Family, friends, community at large, living in and telling truth strengthens those bonds. It strengthens them. Truth adds power and reputation to the spiritual might, to your personal spiritual might. When you're honest with people, they see you as an honorable person. Even if you're telling them something they don't want to hear, it's like, that's your best friend. Mm-hmm. A friend might tell you what you want to hear. Your best friend tells you what you need to hear because you need to hear it because you have a problem.
Right.
You know, those are the people that really have your best interest at heart.
Yeah, they're not doing it to be mean. They're doing it because they're worried about you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So telling the truth adds power. When you say somebody knows, it's like, no, this person wouldn't lie to me. So if they're telling me I'm goofing up,
I must be goofing
I
up.
must be goofing up, man. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or, things like that. And but it also just strengthens the relationship. It makes it so much better. It adds so much spiritual might to your presence around others. But also just knowing that you yourself know yourself to be a truthful person, you're not going to let yourself lie to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Growth happens, change happens when you get tired of your own BS.
Yeah.
Truth can be very uncomfortable to admit, but lies can become unbearable.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to let yourself live in the truth of your existence. Don't try to lie to yourself. It doesn't work in the long run.
It's like,
Ow, sorry, I kicked the table.
the bad news is you have complete control over your life. The good news is you have complete control over your life.
You're completely responsible for your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good news and bad news, you're responsible for all of it.
Mm-hmm. It means you can change it, but also means you're the problem.
Yeah.
You
There's
have
a
to
skeleton name
admit
for
it. Yeah. Is there?
Yeah. It's like he's like, I don't know who needs to hear it. It's like him standing there with his arms crossed. It's like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but whatever you're going through, it's your fault. So live in truth. Just do. Yeah, tell the truth, or at least don't lie.
Lies are too hard to maintain anyway.
Yeah. Who's got the energy?
Right?
Who's got the time?
It's just easier.
Yeah. Okay, so continuing on with that into day 10, very similarly, steadfastness and perseverance. So not only are you going to tell the truth, you're going to stand your ground and hold on to that truth, no matter what lies people might throw at you. So day 10 is the word steadfastness means to stand solidly in a place, to be steady, and the willing to, but also to not just stand strong for your truth, but also the steadfastness to complete a goal. You said you're going to do it.
Seeing it through.
Do it. Seeing it through. Yeah.
That goes back to not lying to yourself.
Not lying to yourself. Yeah. And holding yourself accountable for your claims.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk is cheap. It's easy.
Yeah.
Actions are hard.
That's right. I'm going to go and raise 20 head of cattle. Well, then you said you better go do it.
Excuse me. Yeah. So, well, I don't have the money to buy 20 head of cattle. Well, you should have said it.
Yeah. So is steadfastness and perseverance, the will to steadfastly work towards a goal, to see a plan through despite resistance. And again, this would be a day, more storytelling would probably go into this. I didn't get too deep into it.
Steadfastness.
So we will move on to day 11. And,
almost there.
Yeah, and we're coming up just about an hour and a half, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on the memory card here.
Yeah, me too.
Keep blinking, little red light.
We're wrapping it up.
We're working on it. We're on day 11. So day 11 would be working towards the Valkyries.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
So what are the Valkyries?
So the Valkyries, that would be Richard Wagner's famous song there.
Yes, but what is it in the terms of the 12 Days of Yule?
Oh, yeah, that. Okay, the Valkyries were female warriors, often depicted as riding into battle besides Odin or Thor and various other gods. They were apparently they're the embodiment of loyalty. Be loyal, in this last couple days here, they're all kind of themed together. This is what I meant by them overlapping and theming together into a full set. Because you've got community and truth and kin and seeing steadfastness. Now we're getting into loyalty, and these are fairly similar, almost synonymous concepts. So being loyal to yourself, keeping your promises, that's honesty, keeping
Not
perseverance.
lying.
Yeah. By being loyal to yourself, your family, your clan, your tribe, the gods and goddesses. And this one requires one to be steadfast and true in thought and thought, word, and deed. Yeah. So, and there is actually, I was able to find, loyalty is a virtue and a source of honor. Much like telling truth, loyalty is a source of honor and adds more spiritual might to your presence. People know you to be a true person. They know you to be loyal to them. And there is a story that comes to mind. Viklof? Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. A particular story that was associated with this, at least as far as I know, was to remember the story of Viklof, who stayed behind to help Beowulf.
Beowulf.
I almost said it wrong. Beowulf. Side story there.
Inside joke.
Inside joke. Not all that, when the movie Beowulf came out in theaters, there was, yeah. Anyway. When he was famous warrior, did many great deeds, but was also I think a king, made king at one point. But when he was like in his later years, like 50, 60, something like that, he wasn't as strong as he used to be.
Usually you're not.
Yeah. And so he was called to fight a dragon which had been terrorizing a town, stealing livestock, stealing children, murdering people, what have you.
Dragons bad. They're just bad.
Well, I think somebody pissed it off. Dragons do dragon things. I like dragons.
We like dragons.
Yeah. But he was called to slay this dragon because it had been making a menace of itself to the townsfolk and the area. So he gathered up some men, rode off into battle to face the dragon, and when the dragon reared its head and started fighting them, most of them ran off.
So he basically had to do it alone.
Not quite. Viklof stayed.
Oh.
He stayed and helped Beowulf take down this dragon. Even though he was injured himself and Beowulf fell and succumbed to his injuries, they did kill the dragon together. So he was loyal to Beowulf, and he was steadfast in the goal, and he was honorable. So it just really tying all of those together there in that story.
And he's remembered.
And
the
he's
guys
remembered.
Who ran away are not.
Yeah. Who are they? I don't know. Jim, Tom, Dick, and Harry. But yeah, so he got his name in the good call. He got his name in the history books. The others didn't. So there's even more reason to be loyal and truthful and all that stuff.
People
will
remember you.
Yeah.
Remember me.
What I love was, towards the end of the movie, it goes back to that little statue of him, and somebody wrote a sign or something like that.
Forget you.
Forget you, yeah. And and all of this culminating on
Day 12.
Day 12. We've made it. We're on the final day.
Woohoo.
Woo! I took the applause track off.
Yeah.
I forgot to put it back on. Oh. Future me, fix that. Okay, so day 12. Now we started with Mother's Night, so tonight
It's Father's Night.
Father's Night, and we go right to the Allfather Odin.
Odin.
Yes, who, because the theme for the day 12 is wisdom, and he is very much the embodiment of the person ever seeking wisdom and self-improvement.
Yeah.
Yes.
He nearly died doing that.
He sacrificed himself to himself, hung by the neck with a spear through his chest, and I think he hung there for like 9 days.
Something like that until
The
some truth became revealed to him.
The Norns said that he must make a sacrifice to gain the power of the runes. They were the three
type scene.
The three Norns, kind of like the three fates.
Okay.
Again, that parallel between the Greeks and the Germans.
Yeah,
It's uncanny.
Same story, different culture.
They live in the roots of the world tree and carve runes into the roots of it.
Oh, so it's like understanding the language.
Yeah, that is believed that Odin gave runes to humanity to allow them to improve themselves. But
The
he had
written language.
the written language.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons you don't find a lot of written history in these tribes, is that written was seen as sacred and important. So you didn't just write down your grocery list.
Yeah. Odin almost died to get that for you, so
Don't just use it willy-nilly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like he's kind of like Maui. Hey, you say you're welcome
You're welcome.
for all the things he gave to humanity.
That just made Odin a lot funner. I'm sorry, I just got this picture of Odin in a hula shirt, and it's just like, I like this for some reason. It's
Anyway.
it's like Master Roshi.
Even with the sunglasses.
Yes. Well, I mean, he did lose an eye, so
But maybe lose the turtle shell.
yeah. I mean, yeah. So
I don't know. Was Odin lustful like Zeus was?
That's a good question.
Because if so, that Master Roshi would be the perfect analogy. Anyway, so Father's
Odin, forgive us.
Day, honoring Odin.
Honoring
Wisdom.
Odin was wisdom, oaths, and wassailing. Wassailing.
Here we come, a wassailing.
Yes. Wassailing to you, which is an old Anglo-Saxon word for to your health. So yeah, the song "Here We Come a Wassailing" is literally saying, "Here we come to celebrate your well-being and to wish you well."
Wish you well, basically.
Yeah. It's also where we get the word hail or helsa. It varies a lot, but they all come from the same root word. So when you would meet people and you would say hail, you're greeting them in a warm way. All hail to the chief, or all hail the king. You're wishing them well. You're greeting them warmly. And I kind of need that. We still use hail to the chief. Here we are, 21st century, all these millennia later, we're still using those words. Really cool. But it's to bring health, prosperity, and luck. And so, but Odin, the ever seeking of wisdom. Well, what is wisdom? Seeking to understand the underlying current, the underlying energy behind something. Why do these things happen? Asking why and what behind the what.
Curious.
Yes.
Inquisitive.
And getting into the root of things. Understanding of things large and small. It doesn't take much wisdom to understand the why of small things, why the water runs downhill. But the wisdom to understand the larger things, why the sun moves across the sky, why do we live and then die, why, I don't know. But you can get all kinds of philosophical questions out of that.
Or like when your toddler comes up and asks you why on everything you do.
Yeah.
Go on, Mindy. Why?
Why? Lily is kind of in that stage.
Sort of, yeah, in her own lily way.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's more what than why. But
what are they doing? What's he doing? What's he doing?
What are
What's
you
he
doing?
What are you doing? What am I doing? Yeah.
So wisdom is most often found by examining the gradual accumulation of information through experiences and to find the golden truths therein. Experiences over time and examining what happened to you, why did that happen, and what were the repercussions? What did you learn from that?
That's the big question. What was learned from this?
Yes, I mean that gets into an old expression. Any effort is worth any up. Daggone it.
We're so close. Hey!
Welcome back, folks. So yeah, the memory card was full, so we had to take a little break there.
We were so close.
Yeah.
So close.
So where did I leave off? Okay, so wisdom is most often found by examining the gradual accumulation of information, gradually accumulated information from experiences and finding the golden truths therein. What happened to you? Why did that happen to you? What did you learn from it? And that gets into an old saying, any effort is worth the experience if you learn something. So
I say that all the time when somebody does something stupid. Okay, so what did we learn?
I mean, it's a fair question. It's a fair question, I think,
What did we learn?
I mean, that's kind of what it, there's two ways to learn things. The easy way and the hard way. The easy way is learning from somebody else's flub-ups and then saying, well, I'm not going to let that happen to me, so I better avoid that.
But more often than not, it's the hard way.
Which is you go out and hurt yourself in some way.
And then you say, I'm not going to do that again.
Not going to do that again, yeah. I learned not to try and pick up the cab to a 53 Ford F-100 because it's bad for my back.
You learn to stay away from exhaust pipes unless you know that car's been sitting for a long time.
That's kind of unavoidable, unfortunately. That's kind of unavoidable. I got a couple of them on the back of my hand right now, actually.
I see. Bless your heart.
It's just an occupational hazard. But, there's a lot of, I've learned several things about, jobs. But that's just practical knowledge. Wisdom is
the pursuit
of knowledge and pursuit of understanding why things do the things they do, why things are the way they are, and how to interact with that in the most mutually beneficial manner between you and the other thing. And so Odin is the embodiment of that, because that's his MO. Practically every story I've found of Odin is him trying to learn something. It's how he lost his eye. And that's why he is the leader of the gods. He's seen as the wisest of them all, the All-Father. So really bookending it there from Mother's Night to Odin.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That way they didn't leave anyone out.
Yeah, they really didn't. I really enjoy that about a lot of these early polytheistic cultures is it's way more comprehensive and more reflectant of life, in that there's a god for everything and a story for everything and a legend for everything. It's much more, you can learn a lot from it.
But it's also much more inclusive. There's the god and the goddess.
Yes.
Whereas newer Western religions, there's just the god.
Yeah. You
so
kids in your newfangled religions.
Right. So
monotheism, it's so boring.
Yeah, can't give power to women in any way.
Yeah. So and wassailing, origin of, as you said, here we come a wassailing. This is just kind of a fun thing. And caroling in general would happen on that night. People singing
Get together,
songs.
sing songs.
And sing songs. And would go around from place to place. Oh, I think this was supposed to be on the 11th night. Oops. Oath night.
Did we skip that night?
No. Oh, no, wait. I think day 12 is Oath night as well. So, Oath night, where you would go around singing something. But anyways, caroling in general would also, similar to Samhain, going through town, singing songs, and making pledges that what you were going to accomplish in this upcoming year. So
kind of like the resolutions.
New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, hitting on that again.
Yeah.
So a couple nights talking about that.
Yeah. And you would go to, and this kind of where you would see an early form of what we now call caroling, going to the houses of large people of large estates, people that were well off, and singing. And then if they liked your song, they would give you gifts, be generous and hospitable.
Keeping with the theme of Yule.
Yeah. People would also carol not just to people's houses, but also go through fields, orchards and fields, and out to the pastures.
Just to give carols to the goddess and spirits of the earth and things like that.
Precisely.
Oh.
Yeah. The
They like songs too.
harvest gods like songs too. Yeah. And so to ask their blessings and give thanks from the various harvest gods and feel, spirits of or just go around the forest. The what was it, the rights, land rights, yeah. Going around the forest around your village to sing to the land rights and give thanks to them and ask their blessings and their protection of the land around your house, your village, your town. So yeah. Special thanks to Stephen McNailen. I found his video sequence. He did a each day breakdown video series. It was a 12 video series on Yule and practices, and it was really helpful. Thank you. I used a lot from you guy there, buddy. So I just want to promote and say thank you. And he's got a website on the end of his videos that is really worth checking out,
which is
World Wide Web runestone.org. And I did not write down the name of his organization, but it's mentioned in every one of his videos on the end. So you'll have him saying things and then lighting a candle and then talking about, we will light a candle for this and we will give a libation for this. And then there's also a slide where this cool sun/snowflake face mask comes up, and then there's an organization that I guess he's a part of or heads, and they provide a lot of information and really helpful stuff.
So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Trying not to directly plagiarize.
I tried not to, but it was very helpful.
So these are all really good values and things like that, and traditions that really bring people together. And somewhere along the way, we totally lost sight of that.
Yeah, our modern sensibilities being what they are,
sensibilities.
Our modern desires and instant gratification really get us stray far from these things. So,
well, I mean, certain people you talk to, they, the holidays are supposed to be, coming together, celebrating with friends and family, but a lot of people nowadays, especially, you talk to them about Christmas, they go, ugh.
They just see it as so onerous and tedious and just this arduous task.
And they don't look forward to it, and they just see it as something they have to do but don't want to do, and it's really sad.
It's like homework.
Yeah, it's really sad. Because I know some people that are like that, and
I kind of blame commercialism.
It's just enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't have to turn it into something horrible. And I mean, yeah, sometimes you don't want to be around your family because they suck, but you don't blame the season for that. Blame your family.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of blame modern commercialism for that. The idea that we have to go out and spend 3 months salary on huge gifts for everybody and then lay out these huge spreads, and it's you don't really have to. You don't.
Yeah, I mean, you can still do that stuff, just see it as something that you get to do
instead of have to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Mindset plays a huge factor in all of this.
Yes. So,
very important note, Beth.
Yeah, so I'll get off my soapbox now.
I don't know. No, I mean, that was important. It was important. It's, you're bang on there. I think you've scored a point. You scored a big point there. Yeah.
Anyway,
you know things.
I know stuff.
I know.
Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. That was the 12-day of Yule. Yeah. 12 days of Yule. Heading into a
brief overview.
Yeah, very brief overview. Getting into the Christmas season here.
Yes.
So where we're going from this, we're not sure.
We'll probably do at least one more thing Christmas related, because
before getting back into the Avatar stuff.
Yeah. And then, so yeah, by January we'll be back in Avatar. So I think we'll bang out one more Christmas Yule thing.
Something. We'll figure it out later. We'll
We'll
let
wing
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not going to make any promises I can't keep. So all I can say is we will likely do one more Christmas thing, and then come January we'll try and wrap up, get back into Avatar and try and wrap that up, and then move on to the next projects.
Yep.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Today,
whenever you're listening, watching, whatever.
Yes.
So
Thank you, whether it's YouTube, Rumble, or Spotify. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in and listening to us ramble for a while. Leave a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, tell a couple friends. You can find us on, like I said, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify. You can find me on X, formerly Twitter.
you have to say that, right? You have to say that it's formerly Twitter, right?
At least for now.
Everyone says that. X, formerly Twitter.
It's not quite Prince, but
Anyway, so X, Facebook.
X,
Are you on Facebook? No, you're not.
I
on
personally am, but the show is not.
Facebook. Okay, yeah. Don't look him up on Facebook. He never goes on there anyway.
Yeah. I took a page from Joe Rogan, Post and Ghost. I pop my head in, scream as loud as I can that there's a new episode, and then I'm gone.
Because haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate. Yeah. That and that political meme really made me think and change my opinions on things. Said no one ever. No. And I really don't care for the way Zuckerberg and company run the meta, so I really don't spend any time on Facebook. I just kind of I poke my head in, scream that there's a new episode, and I'm out. I do check in my Twitter feed though.
Okay.
Because I do like the way Musk runs things much more openly than Meta is ran. I won't get onto my soapbox,
I was about to say we're gonna avoid that political rant.
Yeah, free speech is important.
Yeah,
I'll just go with that.
It's late.
Yes,
we're tired.
and that's a completely
It's been a
different
long
subject.
day.
That's a completely different subject. So enjoy Thanksgiving, although that will have passed by the time
I
this
hope you
airs.
had a good Thanksgiving.
Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Enjoy Christmas. Enjoy Yule. Enjoy New Year's. However you choose to enjoy those items. We wish you well.
Peace out.
Wassail to you and yours.